Hey everybody, Nick Nack here, and this is going to be a video response to Mr. Alpha Omega Sin. Now, recently he's made a video on what cool characters would definitely go into Mortal Kombat and should be DLC. And I was originally going to do like a countdown of it, but then I decided, you know what, I'll just make a video response instead. I think it's kind of more easier, and some of these characters that I was going to put on the list, I haven't even played their games yet, but that's besides the point. Now, before I start naming off characters, let me just say two things. One, the characters need to fit in Mortal Kombat. In other words, don't be expecting me to say characters like The Rock, Harry Potter, or Magneto, because of course they don't fit in Mortal Kombat. And two, these are characters that people haven't even talked about yet. So like, I was originally gonna put Travis Touchdown in my list, but of course Mr. Alpha Omega Sin already took it, but that's okay. But anyway, let's start off this list right now. The first character I definitely will love to see in Mortal Kombat would be Saya from Blood the Last Vampire, or Blood Plus, or Blood the Last Vampire live action. Either way good. Now as for Blood and Saya, she definitely fits in the game. For those who don't know what the Blood series is about, it's about this like chick that looks like she's in high school slashing her way through like these monsters. I think they were called Chiropterans. It just was freaking badass. And considering how you get to see all these limbs get slashed off and all the blood pouring around the movies, both Last Vampire regular anime and live action, she totally fits. In fact, you know what? Why don't you just make her a Kenshi clone? I bet some people wouldn't mind. So yeah, Saya from Blood. And if you are gonna put her in the game, maybe have that Korean hottie who played her reprise her role in it. That would be pretty awesome. The next character I would definitely love to see would be none other than the Joker. Now some of you are like, hasn't he already been in a Mortal Kombat game? I don't consider MK vs. DC to be a true Mortal Kombat game. The fatalities sucked, of course, and it was T14. That's pretty much it. As for DC, come on, just give us one character to put in Mortal Kombat 9. And not some homage tribute like they did with Shang Tsung. As much as that fatality was cool, after seeing Freddy Krueger in the game, it was pretty much a waste now, because the Joker would have been a nice addition to the game. Like, just take his move set from MK vs. DC, put it in Mortal Kombat 9, and make it bloodier. I mean, it would just be only one character. And considering how freaking psycho he was in the Dark Knight movie, it shouldn't be that hard to put him as an more mature character in this game. So yeah, the Joker. Definitely would pay $5 for that. When it comes to very bloody animes and martial arts animes, most people could already think of one anime that comes to mind, and that of course is Fist of the North Star. And the main character of Fist of the North Star, Kenshiro, definitely fits in Mortal Kombat. Now for those who don't know what Fist of the North Star is, I think it's about this guy who, well, correct me if I'm wrong, it's about this guy who like does a whole bunch of pressure points to the body, like bam, 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 and out of nowhere, his opponents just explode into one cloud or puddle of blood, and of course that fits in Mortal Kombat. And of course, if you are gonna play him, make sure he's not OP. But yeah, I bet a whole bunch of anime fans would definitely buy Mortal Kombat new just so they could play as him. So yeah, Kenshiro. Now, when it came to video game crossovers, there has been only one crossover most fighting game fans want to see that wasn't Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. That would be Mortal Kombat versus this franchise right here, Killer Instinct. Now, I remember playing Killer Instinct a whole lot, and in a way, it felt like a kind of a cartoony version of Mortal Kombat. They had their own fatalities that were kind of like way hilarious. They had their own friendships, and of course, you see blood splattering everywhere when they perform their combos and attacks, and that totally kind of fits Mortal Kombat as well. But as you already know, Killer Instinct is owned by Rare, and Rare, of course, is owned by Microsoft. I would definitely get Mortal Kombat for 360 if Killer Instinct were only exclusive characters to Mortal Kombat. I wouldn't really mind paying for them. As for characters I'd like to see, the usual Jago, Bulgor, B Orchid, Glacius, Spinal, they definitely fit Mortal Kombat. So yeah, Killer Instinct. And I hope they actually make a Killer Instinct 3 sooner or later. Now if there is one developer that has become pretty great this generation, it's Platinum Games. For those who don't know, Platinum Games is a company that houses some of gaming's finest, like the creator of Devil May Cry and Beautiful Joe, the guy who produced titles such as Okami and Beautiful Joe, and formerly the man behind the iconic series known as Resident Evil, plus a couple of guys from the defunct Capcom company Clover Studio. So where am I going with this? Well, for those who have ever played their games or played any games on the good Wii, you must have heard or played their first title, Mad World. Considering this game's a beat 'em up and it's one of the most played games ever made, in fact I think it had a place for most played games on Think Machinima for their top 10. With that, why not put the title's main character, Jack Kamen, in the game? I mean, of course he fits, and it would be one of the coolest ways to say, fuck you Capcom for what you're doing and what you did. So yeah, Jack Kamen. Although I said that the character should fit, I can't help but put this guy in my list, and that is the guy from Postal 2. Although I'd love to see him in Mortal Kombat, there's just one big problem in putting him in. A whole lot of people haven't even played Postal 2, nor have even heard of the Postal series. I mean, I only played this free 5-minute demo, and that's my only history. As for his moveset, I would really love to see him use a shovel as a long-range attack like Jade Steppenway, and use all these types of guns in a way like Chris Redfield does in MVC3, although I of course noticed his MK, or maybe be like Striker. And one thing that would make me a very happy man is if one of his fatalities consisted of lighting your opponent on fire with gasoline, like he does in the game, throwing the match, and then pissing him out once the flesh burns out. That would totally be sweet. If you don't get what I'm talking about, search up Postal 2 gameplay. Maybe some of that gameplay might show. But yeah, he would be an amazing character. And the last character I want to say also doesn't fit, but I definitely want to put him in because considering how badass he is, and that of course is Lu Bu from the Dynasty Warrior series. If you have played the games, you will already know how overpowered and badass he is, and it takes all these people to finally defeat him. Like when you first encounter him, you just instantly die from a few hits by him. Now sure, it would be a problem playing him since Dynasty Warriors has no blood, and of course Koei might be too scared to see him in the game killing and ripping out people's hearts and stuff. But just imagine using his overpowered badassness as an MK character, and maybe as a fatality, let him run over people with his horse. Just imagine it, like, here's person, and then you see like all this blood splattering around, or like the character's head got stomped off. That would sound bad, doesn't it? But still, I know, overall, it will never happen because it just won't. But it does sound nice, doesn't it? So, this is my video response for Mr. Alpha Omega Sin and his video. And if you haven't checked his video or his channel out, please do so, because this guy is fucking awesome. Anyway, for those who watched this, I want to thank you guys for watching. Take it easy, and until next video,